Candid, captivating, compelling. Welcome to Cannabis Confidential with Dr. Dina. Listen in as Dr. Dina, medical marijuana pioneer and inspiration for the award-winning TV series Weeds, shares never-before-heard stories, chats with cannabis insiders and celebrity friends, and provides invaluable perspective and insight into one of the fastest-growing industries in the world. CannabisRadio.com proudly presents Cannabis Confidential with your host, Dr. Dina.
Welcome to Cannabis Confidential. I'm your hostess with the mostest. When it comes to cannabis and hash, I'm Dr. Dina, and thank you for joining us. Today, I have a very special guest, someone you probably have never heard of before, but someone that is very, very close to my heart. His name is Sean Entin, and Sean and I grew up together in the Valley in California, San Fernando Valley, and Sean was my carpool driver. And I had the hugest crush on my carpool driver, Sean. So much that I was probably completely silent for 2 years that he drove me to school because I was so terrified of making myself aware that he would notice I was there because I had such a crush on him. Anyways, he was that guy that I just looked up to and thought was the perfect guy. And, if I were to have a boyfriend when I'm older, it's going to be like Sean. And because Sean was just such a respectful guy and was always so nice to everyone and very talented, great baseball player, and just kind of like the package. And we lost touch after we graduated high school and we all kind of just went our different ways. And years later, we were friends on Facebook and I saw a post that was just so awful. I couldn't believe what was happening. You keep in touch with your friends. And as it turns out, and Sean's going to tell us a little more of the story, but when Sean turned 40, and so Sean decided to start working out and getting involved with, I believe, jiu-jitsu and different types of training. And there was an accident and something went terribly, terribly wrong, which has changed the way that Sean has lived his life in the last few years. It's not holding Sean back, but if anything, it is going to change the way that we all see traumatic brain injuries and stroke victims. So please welcome Sean Entin, my close friend and my hero, to discuss his story, which was just such an incredible story. So Sean, let's take me back to that day where you decided you wanted to change your world and get healthy and get into great physical shape.
Of course. Well, Dina, thank you so much for all those words. You're so kind. Love you dearly, too. 39, I was getting in shape. I was in San Diego, lived on the beach. I was training with Navy SEALs and local wrestling team, and one day I got choked out, and it sent a clot to my brain, and I suffered a massive stroke. And so what happened was the choke itself, the carotid artery got squished and sent clots to my brain. 6 weeks later, I woke up, and I was paralyzed and in diapers. And my life changed from that point on.
Did you know, Sean, in between the 6 weeks from when you were choked to when you had the stroke, did you notice something was wrong during that time?
I was so banged up. I was bruised. I was training. I was just having fun. I was young. I was healthy, and I thought it was a swollen gland, to be honest. And I didn't think anything of it. And 6 weeks post, in Thanksgiving, Black Friday of 2011, I suffered a massive stroke. And there were no symptoms, really, minor symptoms of anything, but I didn't really notice. It's just
what happens when you have a massive stroke?
What happened to me? So basically, I'll take you back. So the choke happened somewhere about 6 weeks before the stroke. And what happened was I stroked in San Luis Obispo, and they transferred me to one hospital. That hospital couldn't do anything to me, so they medevaced me to Santa Barbara, where there happened to be a neurosurgeon on call in the emergency room that happened to be there, and he knew about my procedure. So they quickly diagnosed me and realized I was suffering a stroke, and I was giving no blood and oxygen up to my brain. So my brain was knocked off of all blood supply and then all oxygen. And he immediately went in there with a scope and rotor-rooted out this clot out of my throat from my groin, 8-hour procedure, and cut the clot off. And then from there, my brain was so badly damaged that he tried to freeze me first. That didn't work, to try to reduce the swelling. And then he induced a coma. And then the coma was a 10-day coma, and then that didn't work either. So nothing was working. I was basically dying. I was going to be a vegetable. I was never going to get out of this coma. And in the coma, he decided to do a craniectomy, where he actually removed the skull off the side of my brain to reduce the swelling. so the skull was actually taken off my head and stored inside my abdomen to preserve it. So I came out of the coma. They had to put the skull back from my belly into my head, and then I woke up and looked over at my dad and I said to my dad, "Where am I?" And my dad's a doctor, and he's like, "You're paralyzed and you're in diapers." And at that time, I was like, "Dad, I'm going to go run a 7-minute mile." And he says, "You can't even sit up." And then because my cognitive was still there, they immediately assessed therapy on me in the ICU, and they got me back. And from there, I was in the hospital for about 10 weeks.
Well, first of all, it's absolutely incredible that you still had your cognitive after all of that. And what a miracle, because, I mean, there was a lot of time that your brain was not getting oxygen and blood.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
And most people, they say after like 5 minutes, you're brain dead. And
exactly.
So you have survived that, which is unbelievable.
Well, I call it the stroke of luck, but absolutely. I mean, it was because it was 6 weeks post, and because I stroked out on Black Friday, I think the real damage was actually from medevacing me from one hospital to the next hospital, because that's when it really happened. So for about 8 hours, I lost all blood supply. And that's what caused the right side of my brain to really just go dark. Or they say it's dead, but I don't believe it's dead. I just believe it's dormant.
I like your thinking. So so from that moment that you left the hospital after 10 weeks of being in the hospital, what did they tell you your life was going to be like? What did you...
The first psychiatrist I fired, she said to me I was going to be brain dead. I was never going to drive again or walk again for at least 8 years, and that I just had to accept my body. And I told that lady, and I remember her name, I won't say it on this radio, but I fired her, and I said, get me people who tell me I can, I shall, I will. And get me a team of people that are going to get me back to where I need to be. And in the 8 weeks, it was boot camp. I mean, I was up at 5:30 until 5:30 at night, learning how to walk, learning how to talk, learning how to read. Dina, imagine you cut yourself in half. I had no vision. I couldn't hear. I couldn't see. I couldn't hear. I couldn't do anything. So half my body was completely just turned off, which forced the other side of my body to take over and just...
And that is just... I mean, it makes me speechless. I can't even imagine losing, half of your brain and what that's like and the fear of that. I mean, Were you scared? Did you show that you were scared? Did you just pretend that you were tough?
I was scared shitless, honey. I was freaked out. I mean, they tell me I'm paralyzed, so I couldn't really, I didn't want to live like that. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't, I was depressed. I was upset. And then the worst part of that is they kept putting me on all these big farm meds, and anxiety pills, sleeping pills, muscle relaxers, everything that was wrong for my body, nothing to help me heal.
And that's what's amazing is that how are you supposed to heal when you're on muscle relaxers? How are you supposed to focus your muscles and get them working again if they're relaxed and like Jell-O? How are you supposed to
Xanax, Prozac, I mean, you name it. I was on everything. And I was on that for 2 years until I found cannabis, which actually helped me heal.
Well, this is amazing, and the fact that you found cannabis without my help, and that's what makes me so
right?
happy.
I love you. I found you now, so it's like I came back here, and it's been a journey. It's been a great journey, but it's been a tough journey. Being in the wheelchair was just horrible. That
must have been really hard, but I think your beautiful daughters that you have.
Yeah, right. They
really helped you.
I didn't want to go on. I didn't want to live, but I just forced myself to keep going. I got in there and I just got to work.
How old are your girls now?
They are 9 and 6.
Gorgeous daughters. Yeah. And I just want to thank them for giving you the strength to keep pushing forward and proving all those doctors that they were wrong. And that you have a beautiful future ahead of you. But we're going to have to go to take a short break. Because your story is so good. We don't want anyone to miss out. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Sean Entin, stroke survivor, a stroke of luck, we call it. And don't go anywhere. Listen to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Cannabis Confidential with Dr. Dina will continue after a word from our most confident sponsors.
Dr. Dabber, hurry! Its temperature is shooting past 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It's burning up.
I'm afraid for this little guy, it's just too late.
What caused the problem?
Only Dr. Dabber can maintain the perfect temperature for a smooth-tasting, slower burn. This standard vaporizer lost all of its health benefits, sending it up in smoke.
So you're telling me that most vapor pens burn so hot they produce smoke, not vapor?
Correct. Keep away from those standard vaporizer pens and turn to Dr. Dabber. Doctor's orders.
Less heat, more flavor.
Oh, let the marijuana llama tell you something now about a game for your phone gonna make you say, wow! The game's about the game of growing cannabis for cash. Grow the seed, sell the bud, put the savings in the stash. Little by little, your empire grows large. Put different celebrities inside your entourage. You can choose to play with Snoop or me or Cheech and Chong, Cypress Hill, Willie Nelson, Wiz Khalifa with a bong. The name of the game is Hemp Inc., that's the point. Download and play while you light yourself a joint. The business of cannabis should be no crime. Hemp Inc. is even hot-proofed by the man who run High Times. Oh yeah? Get it on Android and iOS today. Marijuana llama out. Got to tend to me own crops, you know. Money don't make itself. Hemp Inc.
While the feds and state are doing their dance, you still need to transact business and manage your cash. Go professional and let your customers pay with PayQuick. They pay you and they earn rewards points. PayQuick connects to your bank account for free and secures all of your transactions. And with PayQuick, you can pay your producers and processors for free. Plus, it pays to have it because it makes depositing your cash safe and so easy. No cops, no crooks, just compliance and comfort, knowing you have your cannabis business in check with PayQuick. PayQuick, the safe and easy way to pay. PayQuick.com.
Tommy Chong is ready to cut through the smoke and change the tone of Tilk Radio.
All you have to do is decriminalize. We don't need a government regulation to tell us this is good pot, that's bad pot. We don't need any of that.
The Tommy Chong Podcast, only on CannabisRadio.com.
Welcome to my world.
Dr. Dina is back with more Cannabis Confidential, only on CannabisRadio.com.
And we're back with Cannabis Confidential, and we have Sean Entin, stroke survivor. He is going to give you so much motivation and let you know that you might have a little problem you think you can't handle. Well, that is not the case, because Sean had more than anyone could ever deal with, and he has made lemonade out of those lemons. And not only just lemonade, that's a damn sweet lemonade he's made. And so now we're at the point of you getting out of the hospital and you knowing that you have these two beautiful daughters that you have to fight for and you cannot give up. And then the doctors are pumping you filled with pharmaceuticals because they don't know how to handle this, and they just want to medicate you because that's easy for them. And now, how did you come across cannabis?
Oh, wow. A friend of mine introduced me to it, and because I was a zombie on everything else this last year. I was such a zombie. I was like The Walking Dead, to be honest. I wasn't healing. I was just numb. Everything was just turned off. And I didn't know any better. Who knows? You know, they told me what to do. I've been doing it. And my therapist said, you know, my PT is just, you know, were amazing, but I couldn't actually get up and step up to work because I was just so numb all the time. It wasn't actually healing me. It was just numbing me. And I wasn't alive. And then I found the marijuana, and best thing ever. I want every stroke survivor to be on this right now, and CBD especially.
It's interesting because most people, when they see me take a dab, they get very nervous about it, and they think, oh, I'm going to get so high and whatever.
I love your dab. You kidding me? That dab was amazing you gave me.
I mean, you took a dab like a champ, but what's so interesting was how you reacted afterwards, where you were like, I haven't felt this good in so long. This is amazing. Every stroke survivor needs this. And that just made me like, just, you know, it's a reminder that what we're doing is we're on the right side of history, that we're not just selling drugs to people. We're not just, you know, drug dealers. We're really making a difference. So how did it make you feel when you tried that CBD in the cannabis oil? Like, what did it do differently compared to the pharmaceuticals that they put you on?
Oh, it's just I feel lighter. I feel more aware. I feel awake. It's like it's hitting my nerves a certain way. I'm just alive again. I feel better. I mean, I threw out the first pitch for the Angels 2 weeks ago in Anaheim, and I mean, I smoked right before I took the mound, and I feel great with it.
I think you might actually be the first person that was using cannabis to admit to throwing a baseball in a Major League Baseball game.
It's funny. It's funny. The Oakland A's just called me again now, and they want me to go up there as well for Oakland. So I'm going to do that too, July the 25th.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but you know, I do it because of all the other stroke survivors I saw out there on the field. You know, they're all on these pain meds, and it's horrible. I think we need to get our own stroke elect strain out there and get that going, because I think the stroke survivors just don't know about it. And if they're on it, they're going to heal better, and they're going to walk, they're going to drive, and they're going to get back to work.
I love this. And I think that more people need to Google you. And you guys, Sean's name is spelled Sean, and his last name is Entin, Entin. Just Google him. You will be blown away by these stories. And the fact that he's so willing and open to talk about his story to people, because most people who have had a stroke, they tend to be embarrassed or shy. They tend to kind of draw back from society, withdraw, and go stay in their home and not have a life because they're embarrassed because they maybe can't use their hand or their leg or whatnot. And Sean is out there fighting for you all to realize that, just because you have a little something that holds you back doesn't mean it's going to change your entire lifestyle. And if anyone is a warrior out there, it is Sean, because he's been out there fighting, not just for himself, but for others, and to prove that what these doctors have been telling us for all these years, that when you have a stroke, you're done. And the proof is in the pudding. You look at Sean, and Sean is driving again. Sean is doing things that doctors never told him that he would be able to. And for that, Sean, you are my hero. And I think it's just such an incredible lesson. Did you ever think about using cannabis before your stroke?
I did use it in college, recreational.
Really?
And I loved. Oh yeah, I smoked a lot at UCSB.
I did not. I could never imagine. You seem like such a good boy in high school. That you would
are you kidding me? I loved marijuana back in college days, but I didn't know what it was going to do for me now. It's like, I started my non-profit with it, my Move to Improve Foundation, where I help other stroke survivors rehabilitate. And part of it, I want to bring cannabis to all of them right now. Every neuro center, every stroke center, every TBI out there, anyone with a concussion should be on this now. Athletes, non-athletes, doesn't matter. So this is
Sean, there's something interesting that someone told me. It was actually Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, and we were having this conversation about the VA hospital because, you really want to get in with a group of people that have had some sort of traumatic injury to be able to treat them to prove that cannabis works. And the VA hospitals for many years have always declined using the use of cannabis and will not write recommendations. And the VA, the vets, if they get caught using cannabis, will be thrown out. And the reason why they would not recommend cannabis was they felt that cannabis was a gateway to opiates. So instead, they just
bullshit, Dina.
But Sean, they just prescribed the opiates instead. They went right to the opiates for the people instead of giving them cannabis, which might lead to opiate addiction. So the whole thing is so absurd, and it's the same thing for stroke victims. It's like, just like you're saying, they're throwing you on all these medications. They don't know what you need. They don't know.
The Vicodin, the Oxycontin, the Percocets, that's all legalized heroin. It's crap. And all it has to do is numb you. It's going to clog you up. It's not going to help you heal. Where marijuana is helping my body heal in a relaxed, normal state. My body's healing from inside out now with the marijuana because it's the organic plant that's helping me heal.
And what's even more interesting is that the studies that they're showing that cannabis and cannabinoids, the CBD, that it's a neuroprotectant. And I know you're friends with Eben Britton, who's going to be coming on our show very soon. And he's a former NFL player, and he's really interested about getting CBDs to NFL players because of traumatic brain injury and concussions. And I had a good friend of mine who had an accident and fell out of a 3-story window and landed on his head. And they first told us that he wasn't going to make it and they wouldn't know his name and he'd never be able to speak again. And when he woke up and started talking, the doctor looked at me and said, "What kind of neuroprotectants was your friend on? Because we want to know what this is because we need to give this to everyone." And the reality is the guy smoked a lot of weed. And it does protect your brain and it does protect and help make connections. And I think it's so important for you, especially the sativas. See, indica I would give to people who are having pain, but you need to make these connections in your brain and to reawake up this area which has kind of, blackened out. And I believe that the sativas are doing that for you.
Absolutely. Definitely. I mean, yes, across the board.
Do you notice when you smoke, do you have, what is it that becomes easier to you? Is talking easier?
You know what's funny? You ever see the Limitless movie? Bradley Cooper. It's kind of like that pill. I feel stronger. I feel better. I can see everything. It just all comes to me. It's like my memory's waking up. Because part of my brain is definitely dark. And now they're saying that the left side of my brain has to reconnect with the right side, which is the dark side. And I think the cannabinoids are definitely making that connection for me.
I agree. I think it's so incredible to hear you speak as eloquently as you are and giving your story, and it's just so powerful.
Time, though. It's taken time, Dina. It's not been easy. I mean,
I know.
First moments of this, I couldn't talk, I couldn't speak, I couldn't see, I couldn't hear, and just, but the only thing I wish I did better now, I wish I went back in time and got this in my bloodstream sooner, was the cannabinoids. Because all the crap they put me on, all the insurers, all the Oxycontins, all the Restorals, all the sleeping pills, it was horrible. But my brain had to heal, though, so it did heal, and now I'm here, and we're going to help the world heal faster with the CBD and the marijuana. That's my goal right now.
So all those people out there, if you have friends or family who have ever suffered from a stroke, you need to get some CBD, get some cannabis to your friends, because you will notice a huge improvement, because Sean has literally gone from not speaking, and you hear him now, and he is driving his car and coming out and hanging out with me at the Cannabis Club and, trying to inspire other people who maybe would not normally use this to go for it. And it's pretty amazing. And so we're going to have to run out to another short break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. And when we are back, you are going to hear more stories from Sean Entin, stroke survivor, a stroke of luck. We'll be right back.
Cannabis Confidential with Dr. Dina will continue after a word from our most confident sponsors.
Play as Ted Growing, expelled botany sophomore and the biggest grower in town, only on Weed Firm Replanted. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
It's a lot of work being the biggest grower in town. Maintaining a room full of plants while dealing with a slew of eccentric customers? From a hardcore partier to the curious neighbor next door.
Is anybody home?
Help me expand my bud business by unlocking new strains, customizing my grow room, and completing challenges that you can't get enough of. Grow your empire so big you can see it from space. Low on funds? Don't worry. Weed Firm Replanted is free to download.
Download Weed Firm Replanted for free on the App Store and Google Play today. Get growing, Mr. Growing.
The cannabis industry is growing. Business is booming. And as new opportunities arise in newly legalized states, each market is getting more competitive. Today, it takes more than just being a good grower. Do you have the resources to market and handle this ever-changing business landscape? Let Canna Management Corporation help you grow your canna business with our vast resources and experience to make your business a fully functional service company. Financial management, HR, sales, marketing, efficiency, and more. CMC has the experience and the expertise to improve your business and help you better meet the demands of your clients and customers. Call Canna Management Corporation and let our team get you ready to grow. 415-269-8015. That's 415-269-8015. Or visit canna-management.com.
The next generation of vaporizers has arrived. Vuber vaporizers are blazing the way with unparalleled technology for oil, concentrate, or dry flower pens. Providing unsurpassed customer service and expert craftsmanship, Vuber vaporizers use cutting-edge technology, providing a power-packed, smoother vapor with a lifetime guarantee. Experience vaporizing the way it was meant to be. The Vuber way.
Doc Rob, the concierge for better living.
Cannabis is just one of the many great plants that we have on this planet called Earth that we can use consciously and intelligently to improve our well-being.
Take a real, raw, inside look at healthier living while sharing great ideas and improvements for a better quality of life.
Learning to live and live well is a lifelong process. This is a journey. You could be 80 years old or 8 years old. You can still learn something that's going to make tomorrow a little bit healthier, a little bit easier, a little bit happier, a little bit better.
The concierge for better living with Doc Rob. Only on CannabisRadio.com.
Dr. Dina is back with more Cannabis Confidential, only on CannabisRadio.com.
And we're back with Sean Entin, stroke survivor. So, Sean, tell us how you are changing the world for other people who have had the same problems that you have. Maybe not the same problem with getting choked out, which is so random. I mean, most people, you think you have a stroke, it's because you had poor health, not because you were trying to get into better health. And so this is really a powerful story because you're young and you're vibrant and you have so much to live for. And all these people out there listening are going to be inspired and are going to take a step forward and change their life and work with CBD. So now you have created you are the founder of the Move to Improve Foundation, correct?
Yes, I am. Exactly. Yeah.
So talk to me about that. What do you guys do?
Oh gosh, it's touching my heart. So I'm in my rehab in San Diego, and I'm watching the veterans leave early from rehab because they have no money, no benefits, and these guys were coming in with amputees and brain injuries, and here I am staying and getting the sessions I need to heal, and these guys were going home early. So I decided in the rehab, as my brain started to wake up, that I'm going to form the nonprofit. I had no idea what the 501c3 was. I had no idea what is even going to entail, and I just put my mind to it, and I decided at the end of this, or during my journey, I was going to form the nonprofit to help others get the help needed to get back. Because if I didn't have my therapy, I wouldn't be driving, I wouldn't be walking. Because the brain doesn't heal by itself. It's not like a broken bone. The brain needs constant movement. It needs to be taught how to do things again. Because my brain was that of a 3-year-old kid. So I saw the veterans who went through serious injuries, a lot worse than me, TBI, stroke, it doesn't matter. And I said, I'm going to form this thing, and I'm going to get these people better. And that's my goal. I'll go to different stroke centers or neuro centers and talk to people, and I'll give them hope. I may not have all the answers, but I give them hope. I give them, a different way to look at life, because you're right. It's nasty. I mean, you're left alone. You're trapped inside your body. You're definitely, the world doesn't look like it used to look like, and you can't move your arms, can't move your legs, and you can't talk. And the last thing you want to do is live. So I want to give these people hope and purpose. And part of my whole thing is I want to rehabilitate these people, and then I want them to come back and work for me as advocates for Move to Improve in cannabis.
So are you raising money through this?
Yes, I'm raising money, and then I'm helping people, exactly, with
their
therapy.
Anyone that wants to make a donation can go to Move to Improve Foundation and make a donation.
Yeah, M2I.org.
M2I.org. Make a donation, help out someone who has had a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you, even though you are so lucky and so blessed to have a dad who's a doctor and have insurance and have connections to get wonderful, wonderful medical care to bring you back to where you are. But the fact that you look around and you see the others who are not, able to get that and you want to help them is really amazing. And so thank you. Because
if I didn't have my parents, or if I didn't have the money or insurance, I'd be in a convalescent home still not walking. Because the state just puts you in a nursing home, and you don't walk again. You sit there and you just die. And there's so many people out there who need our help right now. And the easiest way to help them is get them the cannabis, get them our CBD line, get them product in their system now to help them heal. Get them off all their other drugs and get them back to let the body heal itself. And CBD will let that happen organically.
Well, I love that you have become a spokesperson for an advocate for cannabis and CBD and for traumatic brain injuries. It's not something we ever wished you would have this in your future. No. But the fact that, you make the best of it and you are going to change and touch so many lives because of this. And, it's when I look at you, Sean, I don't look at you as someone who has a disability at all. No, I look at you as the opposite, though. You have an ability and nobody's perfect. We all have stuff. And that's what I tell people all the time. And it's what you do with your stuff to make the most of it. And for me, every day in the shop, people come in with cancer, people come in with all sorts of bad stuff. And I'm not a doctor. I maybe can't cure you, but if I can give you hope, that's 50% of the battle right there. And you are giving so many people hope. So thank you so much. And a shout out to all the people out there who have suffered from traumatic brain injury, who have been told by doctors that they will never walk again. Do not listen to those doctors. You are going to change your life yourself and go get CBD and start weaning yourself off of those pain medications that they're pumping you with. And make your future happen because Sean did it. And if Sean can do it, anyone can do it. Anything else you want to say, Sean? Do you want to add to that?
I love you. I love you
to death.
Too. I love you. You are beautiful like my younger sister. I mean, I just thank you for making me just feel so good about this because it's been a hell of a journey, Dina. It really has.
And you're not done. This is just the very beginning because you have, I can see really huge things from this. So you guys remember the name Sean Entin because you will be hearing it and you're going to be blown away that you were able to hear him now before he's on the news and talking about, on Dateline NBC, how he's cured himself. One day he will be on there and you're just...
I'll be there with you,
I'll be there with you. That sounds great.
You'll be there with me. Evan and you will be there with me, of course. We have to do this. And now we have to make our line so we can get it out there. Help me make Stroke of Luck.
Yes, that's our future plan. We are going to put together a CB line called Stroke of Luck. We're going to get it in the hands of all people who have TBIs, and we're going to change the future. And I think it's really exciting, especially since my father-in-law is a neurologist. And for me to be able to say, hey, look what we've done, that's really exciting for me.
I go to his practice. His partner's my doctor, Dr.
That's so
Chow.
funny. That's so funny.
Yeah,
yes.
So it's all in the family here. Absolutely.
We love that. Yeah. Well, and my sister gives your dad golf lessons.
So I know, right? It's all in the family. Your sister's a golf pro. But now she's laid up. She's had 2 babies, right?
No, 1 baby. My sister had 2 babies. I have 4 nephews in 3 days. It's crazy.
4 nephews in 3 days. You got your hands full, honey.
Yep. Well, I don't have to change diapers, so I'm good. But this has been lovely having you on, Sean. I am so excited. Everybody go check out Sean Entin online. Google him. There are so many articles, so many videos. You can see his inspiring story. And Sean, are you on social media? Are you on Instagram?
Yes, I am. My Move to Improve and Sean Entin.
Move to Improve and
Sean Entin. And if there's a stroke survivor out there, reach out to me. Messenger me. Find me. I'll hit you back. I talk to everybody. This is what I do.
All right.
I'll tell you what to do.
You heard it from Sean himself. Check it out. You can follow me at Dr. Dina 420 on Snapchat and Instagram. And on Twitter, just Dr. Dina. My website's Dr. Dina 420. Check it out. Send me a message. Say hi. Tell me who you want to hear on my podcast next time. And make sure to rate us. Give us 5 stars. 5 thumbs up, whatever you want to give me, I'll take it. And we will see you next week on Cannabis Confidential with Dr. Dina on Cannabis Radio. Over and out.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast or redistribution without proper consent of CannabisRadio.com is prohibited.